because it works now. It's live, by the way.
Cool. Right now, I'm just about to take a look at it on my phone. Yo. 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 All right, sounds good.
Does it?
Pull it up again.
Does it?
Pull it up again.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Exhausted. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. I mean, I had the phone facing us last night.
Yeah.
It didn't really bug me. Same, that 9-8 whatever dude keeps showing up. He starts out all good, and then as soon as you stop giving it, like you don't give him the attention, he switches just like that every fucking time.
Yeah.
Just used to it at this point. It really doesn't faze me. He was laughing at some of the comments, and they were distracting him because he would like stop talking for a second.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, fuck. Pull that back up. The Imperfect Journey. Okay.
All right. So today's topic of discussion, we've labeled it the Imperfect Journey. Essentially, we're just going to go through a couple talking points about how your path to your dreams is not going to be perfect. There's going to be a lot of circumstances that are outside of your control. There's going to be your own personal failures and shortcomings. There's going to be just a different magnitude of different things that are going to be in the way. And we're going to kind of go through a couple of our own, personal experiences, some of our mishaps, and basically just share the message that you're not going to be perfect, and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people are so focused on perfection and trying to only... That's too big. It's not going to stay up. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are focused on that. And they want everybody just to see the good stuff, especially on social media or creating content, things of that nature. People are afraid to show kind of like behind the scenes what actually happens, what it takes. And I feel like, in my personal opinion, that's the stuff that people can relate to more. They don't want to see somebody who's fucking just perfect. They want to see some of the mistakes. They want to see the mishaps. I do believe that makes a difference in how you connect with an audience, or just in general in life. It's not always just about like social media. But yeah, hold on. I want to check this real quick. I don't know what that was. Yeah. You're still in the frame.
Cool. But yeah. But to just kind of piggyback off of what you're saying now, I mean, it's an internal battle. It's a struggle sometimes, because it's like you want to put your best foot forward. You know what I mean? You want to put the effort into whatever you're making. It could be content, your product, whatever. You want it to be really good, but you also do want to maintain that authenticity and be vulnerable and be able to show both sides. So I agree, though. Absolutely. I think people don't want to only just see your highlight reel.
Yeah, I feel like it's harder to relate to an audience. I feel like that's where people come across as egotistical perfectionists, and it's harder for the normal everyday people to be able to relate to that. So yeah, I mean, really, that's the whole topic of today. Why the imperfect parts make the story worth telling. I mean, I guess it's kind of what we're really hitting on right now. I believe it makes the story. Like it shows the development, the character growth in that person or in yourself by sharing some of the imperfect parts of your life. I mean, not everything's going to go the way you plan. Not everything's going to be fucking perfect. It just doesn't work that way. You can plan all you want, but sometimes shit just happens. I mean, I just lost power and finally got it back this morning. So I've been running around with a fucking chicken with a head fucking cut off all fucking day. I'm running on like 3 to 4 hours of fucking sleep. I'm tired as shit. But still here doing this. I mean, I have I don't know, like I use a calendar as like a scheduling thing, right? Well, it's kind of hard to do that when the power goes out. You got to re-up the fridge, throw everything out. You know, it takes a lot of time to be able to do this stuff, to figure out what's good, what's not. And that kind of sets back stuff. So like originally we were going to try to start around 3 or 3:30, but it's like what, 3:45 now. So it kind of puts stuff back just a slight bit.
And you could, you sit there and beat yourself up about it, or you could just accept, okay, everything's not going to be on schedule 100% of the time, and we can just still have fun and move forward and just
roll with it,
Yeah. And I know just in my personal experience, when things like that would happen in the past, and like I'd have like set schedule and I'm trying to do things at this time, if it didn't perfectly fall at that time, I would beat myself up about it and be like, get into my head and be like, oh, I could have done X, Y, and Z differently. Like I'm irresponsible, I suck. And they just take down my energy for the rest of the day. You know what I mean? Over something that's in all actuality pretty minute, you know what I mean? In the grand scheme of life.
Yeah.
When 3 years from now, are we going to look back and be like, oh, we started at 4:45 or I'm at 3:45? Are we going to care 3 years from now?
Fuck no, I barely care today. I can only do so much. I mean, there's only so much that you can control, and this isn't one of them. I mean, usually, I post content once a day too, so like that was also part of it. So after I did all my running around, redoing everything, finally got coffee, caffeine in my fucking system, it's like now I got to do the post. But then it's like I had something else set up that I had to fix, and so I didn't get to fucking doing the shit until like 2:30, and so I mean that kind of set behind things as well. I mean, I still have a dog to take care of, laundry to do. These things, you just got to do it. I got to find time to do it. So, you just got to roll with what you got.
Yeah, absolutely.
Control the things you can and don't worry about the things you can't.
Giving yourself grace, man, that's a huge lesson that I've learned recently. And, that extends to others as well. But, very much so yourself, like understanding that things do happen. And it's like, you don't want to open that window to make excuses, because you could easily do that if you're not conscious. But you just do have to understand, okay, I can accomplish what I need to accomplish despite me slipping up sometimes. You know what I mean?
I mean, everything still got done, just got pushed back a little bit. And it's really not too late. These are only going to be usually running for like an hour, 15 minutes. We'll be running till about 5 o'clock today. So it all still worked out within the right time frame, just not at the time frame I thought it would. But it all still worked out, and that's really what it comes down to, and that's really what matters. So there's really nothing to fret about, I guess. I mean, yeah. So I guess the next talking point is like how chasing perfection has held us back.
So I guess, in my own personal experience, I feel like this is especially like younger me, me now, really trying to pursue a career in the music industry and everything. I've had to shed this mindset, but when I was younger, I was very afraid to, post or even just share my music with people in my circle. Because I didn't feel like it was perfect, or it was like this big, masterful masterpiece, like, and that would hold me back from even just simply just playing a song for somebody else. You know what I mean? And if you can't play your music, you're not gonna get anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely got to be able to showcase it and be confident to show people. And perfection shit doesn't matter. It really doesn't. The more you do it, the better you get. But your first anything's not going to be good. The first video you make, the first music piece you make, the first whatever you make, it usually isn't going to be that great. And usually you can learn from those mistakes on that first one, and you hone it in and you get better and better and better. It's a numbers game. Life's a numbers game, but this really is a numbers game. It gets better over time. I mean, I've looked back on like my TikTok is I think the longest thing that I've had running. And like some of the videos I made when I first started are absolute fucking garbage. And I'm not saying that I'm making perfect videos now. I mean, I'm still learning as I go currently. But to be able to see the progression is it's really cool, honestly. I think that's why personally I've always posted everything, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not the best edits, even if it's not the best of anything, I still post it to show people the growth, to show people the journey, in hopes to inspire other people to kind of get out of their head and just fucking post it. Or, share whatever you're creating with people and, get feedback. Eventually it'll make you better. You'll get more confident in it and you'll start producing either better content, better music, a better product. Whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like what you said just about learning from your mistakes. We talk about that all the time, but just in this context, if you didn't have the willingness or the courage to fail essentially to begin with, you'd never learn these lessons.
Yeah. You have to be able to fail and stop trying to be so perfect all the time. That's where you'll learn the most. Like I say a lot, you'll learn a lot more from your failures than you will your successes. Your successes will teach you what works, but it takes a lot of failures to eventually reach that success. And if you're not willing to fail, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I truly don't think you'll ever reach that level of success that you're striving for, because you won't be able to learn anything.
Cash, what do you have to add to this? That's what I thought, dude.
He just wants a banana. But I mean, I don't know. Like I've said it a million times probably as well, but like the people who really support you, they're going to give you that constructive criticism to help you grow. And I feel like no matter what you do, how you do it, there's always going to be people that don't like it, that just want to sit there and talk shit, that want to put you down for it. Ignore them. Honestly, yeah. They don't know anything. They're just trying to bring you down to their level because they didn't have the balls to try it.
Yeah, think about any, you can think about your favorite movie, favorite song, TV show, favorite influencer, product, art piece, whatever it is. It could be your absolute favorite. Somebody hates whatever that thing is, you know what I mean? And that, just extends to even your own personal endeavors. Like whatever you do, somebody is going to hate what you do. That's just a fact.
Yeah, but as long as you love it, that's all that matters. You're going to piss people off along the way. People are not going to like it along the way. That's just life. There's nothing you can do to change it. So why worry about being perfect and trying to people please everybody when it's not going to fulfill you at all? And if it's not fulfilling you, then you can't really help people because you can't pour from an empty cup.
That's facts, bro.
You'll also get a lot better just by continuously doing something, repeating the same thing and doing it over and over and over again. You're going to get better and better and better each time. It doesn't happen overnight. Success doesn't happen overnight. It takes lots of failures, lots of lessons. I mean, you're like he was saying, like your favorite creator, your favorite product, your favorite content, your favorite art piece. I guarantee you that person failed more times than you can count in order to get to where they were at, to, have to create your favorite or, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guarantee it wasn't a perfect process. They did not get it right the first time. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
You may not have known this because a lot of people you don't hear about somebody until they're already successful. It looks like an overnight success. And maybe that's when you stumbled upon them. That's when most people might stumble upon them. And so you didn't realize, you didn't get to see their whole journey. You didn't see how many times that they were failing in order to get where they were at. But that's another reason why I do post everything and do what I do, is because I want people to see the growth, the journey, and hope that it actually inspires them to see that, number one, it takes time. And number two, it's never like perfect. It's never, even the most successful people, some of their shit ain't perfect. I don't think anybody's fucking perfect. Any of the products that they produce are perfect. There's always some type of flaw or something in something. And I feel like that's just people. That's just life. That's just the fact of the matter. That's just what it is.
And, you know, I think oftentimes, like, your quote unquote flaws can actually be a superpower. You know what I mean? And that could be the thing that sets you aside from everybody else. And I mean, this is kind of surface level, but I'm assuming most of our audience are men. But if you're not a dude, just imagine a dude instead of a chick. But if we take a chick and she's like perfectly symmetrical, like plastic surgery, like that's just, it gets to a point where it's not attractive. You know what I mean? It's like you're quote unquote too perfect in a way. You know what I mean? But a chick that might have like freckles or something is going to be a lot more attractive. It's just like, it makes you unique. You know what I mean? Like when I think of perfect, I think of almost like generic in a way.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just not one for fake tits. I don't like that shit. I think it's weird.
Yeah.
But that's just me personally. Some people might like it. Good for you if you do. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat. But me personally, I don't like that shit.
And I don't want to like go super off topic, so I promise we'll circle back. But it's just like the mentality of somebody to have to want to do that is like, you got to be out of your mind, bro. You know what I mean? That there's like a sane person wouldn't think, oh yeah, I need plastic implants in my chest to.
A lot of it's confidence.
I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, absolutely, bro. That's some freaky stuff. Dude.
Or they were bullied for it, or something along those lines, but they never found the confidence in themselves to love themselves the way they are. And that's just my take. I mean, there's certain things you can do to alter your appearance that doesn't require surgery. If you're going the whole surgery route, I mean, unless you've had an accident, like you blew up your hand or some shit, you need to get
got your face melted off.
Yeah, like that's different. Like plastic surgery obviously is important in that case if you can do it. But other than that, like just the cosmetic stuff, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like the fake tits or some shit. Like it's just, there's something else going on psychologically that makes somebody want to do that.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I just, like I said, to each their own, but I feel like maybe instead of trying to put a Band-Aid on the issue, since it does have a deep-rooted psychological thing, why not try to figure out why you feel some type of way and figure out how to deal with it in a healthy manner instead of going out and getting the cosmetic surgeries and things of that nature that you really don't need.
Yeah, I mean, and this is kind of piggybacking off that a little bit, but I just think the current, climate with social media and everything, it's pushing people in that direction because they're constantly comparing each other, which I think is the next talking point, if I'm not mistaken, is the
comparison.
Comparison. So that's like I guess, good segue. I think the current climate of social media is pushing people in that direction with not only the cosmetic surgeries, but even steroids, things of that nature, the Ozempic, like constantly being exposed to people who are unnatural, and you're comparing yourself to something that's unnatural is obviously going to cause problems with you psychologically if you're not conscious of that.
I feel like that also goes back to trying to be perfect. Like a lot of these people, they're only posting like the perfect picture, the perfect video, and that's really, it's taking a toll on everyday people who consume content and stuff of that nature. It makes them also want to be perfect. But I mean, that and fuck, it was on the tip of my tongue. I just forgot. But I mean, this isn't what I was going to say. Forgot what I was going to say. But comparison is also the thief of joy. You can't compare yourself to other people. They have a different story. They have a different background. They have a different reason why. They have a different psychology. They're not you. So why try to compare yourself to somebody that's not in your shoes? That isn't yourself. The only competition that you should be competing with is yourself at the end of the day. It should be something that you want because you actually want it, or something that you need because you actually need it, not because Joe Schmo fucking has it done or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. And I encourage anybody that watches this to go watch a documentary about somebody that you idolize or you look up to, whatever, somebody you really like, because that's one of the things that really sits with me and motivates me a lot, is when I see somebody that's successful and I hear their story and I can relate to it. And I'm like, wow, like they were in the same spot I'm at. Because if you're going to compare yourself to somebody, compare their struggles with yours and see that, okay, they made it despite that. Don't compare somebody's successes and look at, okay, they have this and I don't have it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I wouldn't use the word compare,
but be motivated by, or look to aspire to be
inspired by the fact that you can relate to them, not comparing, but using it as motivation and as proof to yourself. Like, hey, they were at where I'm at right now, currently. Like,
or even
obviously
worse,
it's possible if I just keep going. Like, this is living proof that what I want can actually happen if I just stick with it. Using it as that inspiration instead of comparing and in a negative sense where you're like, oh, well, they have this, but I don't. So I'm going to be all jealous and negative about it and bring myself down and give up on my dreams all because, this person has it and I don't. You should be taking that and turning it around and be like, okay, well, like, clearly what I want or what I'm thinking is possible. Like, this person fucking did it. So why the fuck can't I? Anybody can do whatever the fuck they want. I mean, it just takes time, dedication. Things don't happen overnight. Unless you win the fucking lottery. But even that, if you have to look at the statistics on that, most of those people go broke within 2 years. I think it's like 90 or 85% of those motherfuckers end up going broke because they didn't learn the skills they needed to handle that type of money. And it just blows like that. Where the other people had to start from a struggling standpoint and they slowly got better with, how to control their money, how to do this, they learned all the skills necessary to be able to get to the point where they're at. And that's how they were able to make it grow from that standpoint and continue to grow with it instead of getting this big lump sum and like sinking it within fucking a year or two and going back to exactly where they were.
Yeah. That circles back to, one of the earlier points is just about the imperfect journey, being necessary almost. It's like, that struggle, that pain, those challenges do teach you great lessons that if you didn't go through that, if you didn't have, those things happen to you, or you didn't have those failures, you wouldn't have had that knowledge or that wisdom,
And without that, you wouldn't have developed the skills to get where they are or where you want to be. I don't know. I've always liked the saying that, comparison is the thief of all joys. I mean, shit, I was at a point in my life where when I would scroll through social media and if I saw like, people with the nice houses, the Lamborghinis, the beautiful, whatever, right? I did have jealousy. I was upset. Like, why is that not me? Like, and now when I see that stuff, after changing my whole mindset, I use it as motivation, as inspiration, as showing myself that this is true. Like, this is possible. This can happen. And so to me, it's just been a strong, like, proof. Really, that's what it comes down to. It's been proof that it's possible. Instead of being jealous, I'm happy for them. And I know that I'll be where I want to be someday as well. If I just keep doing what I'm doing and stop striving to be fucking perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do think that in order to reach a certain level of success, or whatever your level of success is, that there are trials and tribulations that you have to go through. There are lessons that have to be learned. There's skills that have to be developed. There's character development that has to be there. And I do believe like struggling is part of that journey. Like it's just, there's no way around it.
Yeah. And you have to be okay with that, right? And you can't try and fight life. You know what I mean? Like that is a fact of life. And the more you try and fight it, you're only working against yourself. So you have to embrace that. Okay, there's going to be uncomfortable points or uncomfortable conversations or, you know, things of that nature. That's a part of the journey. If you try and fight that, you're only limiting yourself.
Or giving up, or giving that poor me attitude, or, you know, that type of stuff. I mean, instead of like just gritting through it and grinding through it and learning the lessons that you need to learn, you just give up because it gets hard. Well, here's the thing. No matter what you choose in life, it's going to be hard. You can choose to be on that successful route and it's not going to be easy. Or you can choose to suffer and live off the government and low income, like, and not that income is all that matters, but what I'm saying is you can choose that route as well. You can choose to do nothing with your life. And it's still going to be hard. You're not going to be able to actually enjoy your life if you're choosing the other hard, where you'd rather live off the government and have just a set amount of money per month. Like, you're not going to be able to live life. You're not going to be able to have a good health. You're not going to be able to do much with your life. You're going to be pretty much sitting stagnant. And I don't care what anybody says. That's not going to be easy. But yeah, it's like the lazy way to do shit, but it's not going to be easy. So you can either choose to do this hard or you can choose to do this hard. But either way, life's going to be fucking hard.
Yeah. And if you try to escape the fact that life is hard, that's how you become, you know, you gain addictions and vices and you go down that path, trying to make life not suck. But there's going to be parts that suck. And if you're cool with that, it's actually a lot more peaceful than trying to fight it. If you just come to terms with, okay, things aren't going to go my way all the time. I'm an imperfect person. I will mess up. Things will mess up. Yeah, apps will get shut down. Your power will go out. You know what I mean?
Shit happens.
I'm cool with that. I'm not going to try and fight it. Life's actually pretty peaceful and enjoyable if you just understand that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like, if you enjoy what you're doing and it really isn't about the money for you, it still might be a struggle, but at least you're going to enjoy the journey, enjoy life.
And you have fruits at the end. You know,
yeah,
fruits, bro. What are the fruits to doing nothing? You know
nothing, I mean? Nothing. I mean, it's just more suffering, more pain, more boredom, more hating your life.
Yeah.
And there's no fruits in that. There's nothing that tastes good from that. It just sucks. But in the end, if you choose the other hard, trying to be successful and doing everything you need to do that, it's going to suck, but you should enjoy the journey because you enjoy what you're doing. And then a byproduct of that will be success at some point. Some people it's 2 years, some people it's 5 years, some people it's 10 years. It just depends on what you're doing. Are you slacking off? I mean, I'm not saying you don't deserve rest every now and then, but at the same time, you should be doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. You should have the discipline and the resilience to push through even the hard times. And being tired, for example, I mean, I could be taking a nap right now. I'm fucking tired. Like, I'm not usually this tired, but I'm fucking tired of shit. But I'm not. I got other shit to do. I have to push through it and do what I got to do. Having that discipline and that resilience to keep yourself held accountable no matter how you feel. If you're always taking breaks, if you're always, oh, you know, I don't feel like it today. I don't feel like this. I don't feel like that. Well, then, yeah, it might take you fucking 10, 15 years. Or you might never get there because you gave up eventually, because you gave into your feelings. And I'm not saying that feelings are not valid, but to some point, you got to be able to tough it out a little bit. I mean, that's just the reality of life. And I feel like nowadays, everything is about being comfortable. You know, everything's about, it's just like a, you know, I hate to say it like this, but it's like a pussy way of going about life. You know, I'm not saying that you can't have feelings. I'm not saying that men can't cry. I'm not saying any of that type of shit. What I'm saying is like, just because you're tired doesn't mean you can't do something. You got to deal with the cards that you're dealt and not give up. You still got to push through whatever you're dealing with at the time and make sure the work gets done. And I guess that's where a lot of people can fall off, especially in the entrepreneur type realm, is because they don't have a boss forcing it on them. They are their own boss. They are the person that has to keep them held accountable and in check. And if you can't do that, and you're just going to give into your feelings all the time, well, then life is still going to be a lot harder, because eventually I feel like a lot of those people quit. They try something for 2 or 3 months. It didn't work out how they wanted to, and they're done. And you just can't do that. I've been doing this shit for almost 3 years, creating social media, running a business, that type of stuff, entrepreneurial shit. I did have a 9-to-5 through most of it. I was just recently, like I said before, like November 2024, I pretty much got rid of that. But like even right now, I've decided just to bring in some extra money to end up going to do a DoorDash when I have the time. I mean, why not? Your most successful people have 7 different streams of income. And at least with DoorDash, I can pick when I do it. I pick the hours, I pick the type of orders that I take,
the location.
Yeah, like you're in control. The only difference is you're running underneath somebody else's like branding. So like instead of like testing limits, I'm running underneath DoorDash. Other than that, you still have to be able to keep yourself held accountable, in check, do stuff when it needs to be done. But yeah, I mean, you just, I don't know. I mean, my main reason for that is I want more money to be able to start playing with investing. I mean, I do a little bit now, but with that, I can do a lot more. I mean, since I don't actually need the money to live, I can take that extra money and put it into a savings account with a nice interest rate on it, annual percentage rate yield. I mean, I can invest more into cryptocurrency, into stocks, and then eventually, you know, gold, silver, things of this nature. And it'll get to a point where I won't even need the, you know, extra income because of the investments that I've made, but I have to get to that point first. I mean, I make enough to provide for myself, with maybe like 5 or 10% extra that I could do things with or invest in, but I want more. I want to be able to invest, at least according to the laws of success. You should be taking about 20 to 25% of the money that you make, and that should be going towards the savings and investing. Well, I'm only at the 5 or 10%, so it's still not enough. So that's the main reason why I decided to go this route. I've done DoorDash before. I like it. I like the drive. So to me, it all works out.
And we'll just say, I know you're going to get it done very efficiently.
Oh, yeah. I can get like 5 or 6 done with them bitches in an hour. Make anywhere between 25 to 30 bucks an hour, give or take. With gas, maybe $22 to $28 an hour. So to me, it's worth it. And if you want to go the entrepreneurial route and you can keep yourself in check and you live in a city, in a good area, or like a bigger city where there's a lot of restaurants, you literally could quit your 9-to-5 if you're making less than that and do something like this instead. You can get practice being like your own boss, your own entrepreneurial like spirit type thing. Or keep the 9-to-5, take this as like a little side hustle thing and see how you do if you're able to, you know, do the work without somebody breathing down your throat. I've never thought of that before. That's the first time of me like thinking of that, but that actually would be a good way for people to see if like the entrepreneurial lifestyle is for them, to give it a shot, to see if they can keep themselves in check, to see if they can actually like have that discipline, that resilience. I've never thought about that. That'd be a good way to do it. You can still have that secure 9-to-5 if you need it, but then you'll know if it's meant for you or not.
Or, I mean, just building that muscle, because I think discipline's a muscle that you basically work over time and get stronger. Like, I think some people are more disciplined than others naturally, but I think you can turn an undisciplined person into a disciplined person over time. So, I mean, that could be a good way to like exercise that muscle.
Brain, which is a muscle. But yeah, I mean, you'll find out real quick if it's something that you can train yourself to do, or if it's something you're not able to do at that time. And then if not, hey, put it down for a little bit, go back to the 9-to-5 or keep the 9-to-5 still and put down the DoorDash and try again in a couple months. Just keep trying. But I also feel like just going to the gym will help develop that muscle in the brain, or that discipline and that resilience. I know that's what it's really done for me. But I did DoorDash back in 2019, 2020.
That's like your full time or just like side? Okay.
Full time. I was doing 35, 40 hours a week. And so I think that actually helped me develop the ability to be more in the entrepreneurship area. I was able to make my own schedule, do it how I wanted to do it when I wanted to do it. And I enjoyed it too. I mean, it really, to me, it wasn't like having a job. It wasn't miserable. It was, you get to listen to whatever the fuck you want to listen to in the car. You get to drive how you want to drive. You get to go where you want to go. It's freedom. And you get paid to do it. I mean, and if you know how to work the system, you can actually make some decent money on it. Because some people, they don't understand that you don't have to take every order. And they'll take every order that comes to them, even the ones that are like $1 for 10 miles. The fuck? You shouldn't be taking that shit. Just decline. But you'll figure that out. Like me, myself, like for me, I always did stuff that was around $2 a mile or more. And that always made pretty good money. And especially nowadays, since people are not like having everything to just be dropped off at the door, you get a lot of cash tips too on top of whatever DoorDash is already promising you. So it ends up being more money than it was back in the day.
So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty sick. Plus, you get to interact with people more. That's the one thing about DoorDash I didn't like is like, I mean, I guess you talk to the workers, but it's a lot of time alone, which I'm cool being alone.
That shit don't bug me one bit.
It does get to a point where sometimes I wish there's somebody I could chop with. You know what I mean? Like,
call somebody. You have a phone. You can literally drive and talk to somebody on the phone. Like,
I mean, you
still
could
do that.
I guess you could. Yeah.
You could bring somebody with you if they don't have anything going on. I mean, you just can't have them like go get the order and do all. You can't have them do the work while you're just driving and stuff. I've seen people do that though, like a mom and her kids. I've had fucking like little kids drop food off while the mom just sits out in the car, which I know if DoorDash found out about something like that, they'd get in trouble for it. But bring somebody with you that you can chop it up with when you do it. I mean, or I mean, some people are in relationships, so they bring their significant other along. Like my sister and her boyfriend have done it together. Mm-hmm. One will drive and one gets in and out and does the orders, but they're both on the account. So, I mean, I don't know. I really don't mind it. That I'm so focused on driving that I have no time for conversation. I'm just trying to get there, get back, and get the next order to try to make as much per hour as I could. So I guess it depends on how you drive too. Because if you're slow as fuck, then you might not make that much. But if you can test the limits a little bit, you can make some pretty good money if you're getting 4 to 6 orders in an hour. I mean, sometimes, I mean, I've seen $50 in an hour before. I mean, it always kind of roughly evened out to like 30, 33 when I was doing it during COVID. I haven't got to do it yet. I got everything. I just, I plan on doing it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week from like 7 to 10. See how that goes. But yeah, I mean, I'm still like, I don't know. I'm on the idea. Like, that's actually a good idea for people to see if entrepreneurship is for them or not. I don't know why, but like, I just like that idea. And I can't get that concept off my head. Like, it's just, yeah. But yeah.
So the next talking point, everyone feels behind or not good enough, which I think people lose sight of that when they're looking on social media or, you know, celebrities, whatever, that they are also human. They also have emotions, and emotions aren't stagnant. You know what I mean? They're up, they're down. It kind of just depends on what's going on in your life, but everybody has the same emotional spectrum. You know what I mean? Sure, some people might be able to handle their emotions better, or, you know, have better coping mechanisms, or just ways with dealing with it. But I guarantee whatever anybody's feeling, there's somebody else that is successful that is currently feeling the same way, has felt the same way, or will in the future.
Yeah, so I'm trying to put a comment into pin so that way they know to check the description. Maybe. There we go. Okay. But yeah, I mean, sorry, you're going to have to repeat that, at least if you want. I didn't.
No, you're fine. I was just basically the next talking point is, you know, everybody has times where they don't feel good enough, or I don't know exactly how I worded it in the talking points, but basically what I was saying is, people go on social media, they see celebrities and they detach them. They don't understand that they're human too. And they go through the same emotions as they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that kind of goes also back to the fact that a lot of these, especially celebrities, they have people running their social media. They have all these these perfect fucking social media managers, this, that, and the other, that are like triple checking, and then it's running through another person to make sure this is like, it fits the narrative for their branding, this, that, and the other. Like, a lot of those guys don't share the imperfectness of things. Like, everything has got to be spot on, perfect, like the best of the best, because, they have an image to maintain. And that's why it's not good to compare yourself to something like that, because you're not them. And on top of that, you have to understand that a lot of it's fake. I mean, it's okay, maybe not fake. I don't know. Like, it's designed on purpose. Like, they'll spend 5 or 6 hours on a photo, fucking doing these edits, doing this, doing that. Like, okay, for example, like some of the beauty magazines or something like that, or the models that would be in a beauty magazine. So like, they might take 5 or 6 hours editing one photo to make it look like the most perfect thing in the world, when really they don't even fucking look like that in real life. So like, there's no point of trying to believe all that shit and think that you have to be just like them, because there's a major disconnect. Fuck. I forgot where I was going with that. Damn it.
Dude, that's the worst. But no, dude, yeah, I completely agree. And that's why, like, you can't compare your real life where you see everything to somebody's highlight reel where it's only a fraction of their life.
Yeah, that's along the lines where I was getting. Well, I mean, yeah, you sum that up. Fuck. I'm tired.
Dude, I know you're probably sick of me talking about Kanye all the time, but I mean, he's like a perfect example of what we're talking about, because he has been through so many controversies and like just off the wall stuff. Like, he's not afraid to show you his life. You know what I mean? There's plenty of, like I was showing you the other day, like he's dropping videos of him behind the scenes, I guess, where it's like him arguing with his family and a bunch of stuff that other celebrities would never dare to post anything like that ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, no matter how resilient you are, no matter how tough your skin is, you're still going to get mad at some points in your life. Like, I'm not perfect. I can crash out on people too. That's just what it is. Like, none of us are perfect, but if you're doing it all the time, then you might need to get some help. But like, for somebody that's in his position, like Kanye's position, I mean, the motherfucker there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders. I can imagine that would get to somebody at certain points in their life. I'm not trying to give them excuses, but like, there are reasons for the crashing out and for some of these arguments and stuff like that. I mean, we all fucking do it. Like, that's also life. Like, it's a normal human emotion. Now, the way you deal with it is on you. Are you going to crash out on somebody? You're going to do this? You're going to do that? I mean, all that stuff's that is on you, but I'm not a fucking perfect person either. I mean, I could crash out on people. I think I've done it before on the live a few times. Like, motherfuckers be pissing me off. And I'm not afraid to sit here and admit that. Like, I'll never be a fucking perfect person. None of us will ever be perfect. We all have emotions. We all have, the way our brains are wired. We all have issues.
Yeah. And we all have ups and we all have downs, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's just the reality of it.
But, I have major respect for anybody that is, at a high level where they have a big following, or, they've reached that level of success and they're still, just authentic and they're willing to be vulnerable and like open and everything like that. Like, I have huge respect. Like you're saying, there's a lot of pressure to be perfect in that person's shoes. You know what I mean? When you have that many eyeballs on you, I couldn't imagine what it's like. Because if you make the wrong move, like half the population is going to know about it. You know what I mean?
And, with that, it goes back to like, the people that really fuck with you will understand, why you might have acted that way or why this might have happened. And then there might be people that it scares off. And that's part of the alignment process. I mean, if somebody is sitting there on the other end of the phone or something like that, judging that person for crashing out, and it's not something that they do often or regularly, who are you to judge? You're not God. Like, I mean, fuck, I'm sure you've done something similar before. I'm sure you've crashed out on somebody. I'm sure you fucked up and did something stupid yourself too. So like, who are you really to judge? Now, again, if it's something that somebody is doing all the time, that's all their content is, I mean, that might be a little bit of a different story, but yeah. We're all going to have those times where like shit comes up and you freak out, you crash out. I mean, you're angry.
If you were a completely just like emotional, emotionless person, that's the word I'm looking for. If you're just a completely emotionless robot, like that's scary. Like I do not want to be around you, bro. You know what I mean? I'd rather surround myself with people that have like genuine emotion. You know what I mean? And even if I don't, like it in the moment, you work around it, you work through it, you have empathy. I think empathy is huge for not only yourself, but just in general dealing with people. You got to understand their position and try to step in their shoes and be like, okay, if I'm them, how would I be thinking right now? Or how would I react? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like really put yourself in their shoes. Don't try to fucking sugarcoat it. Don't lie to yourself. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like some people look at somebody doing something like that. Oh, I would never do that.
Yeah, but you've never been in their position. So how do you know? That's why I don't like what would you do questions or, what if this happened? Like, what would you do? How would you react? Like, it's hard for me to know if I haven't been in that situation. I can have a theory. I can say how I would want to act, but you don't know until you're presented with that situation how you would truly respond.
No, I feel like that's what that's what it is for a lot of people. It's how they would want to react, but actually being put and hit with that situation can almost guarantee you that you're going to act completely different than what you would want to act. When you are stepping back from a clear-headed position and you're seeing a situation like that,
and you have no skin in the game and your emotions aren't in it, you know what I mean?
It's a lot easier to say what you would want to do, but when you're actually hit with that and you're in that emotional state, I guarantee you're not going to act like how you would want to act. It just is. Maybe in some cases, maybe like 1% of the fucking time.
Yeah.
Maybe what this person's crashing out about, it wouldn't, if you were put in that shoes, it wouldn't actually fucking phase you. And so you would have that clear-headedness to do what you would want to do. But I feel like 9 times out of 10, or in most cases, that's not the truth. I feel like we're lying to ourselves. I feel like people are, and I guess that goes along with the imperfectness too, is like everybody wants to, at least, especially with social media and stuff, they want to portray that they're like the nicest, the best person in the world, with, the most kind-hearted and this, that, and the other. I don't think anybody's like that kind-hearted. I don't think anybody's that fucking perfect or not perfect at all. I feel like we all have things that would trigger us, things that would, make you crash out. Like nobody's fucking perfect. So you don't have to, you can share that stuff too. I mean, that's why I'm not afraid to, I've done it on some of the lives, but I realized that was almost pointless because motherfuckers just don't listen, if I want the honest truth. It felt like I was just talking to a wall. So at that point, I went from like kind of angry to like more annoyed. Like, this is just a waste of my time, a waste of my energy, and there's no getting anywhere. It's literally like talking to a wall. Like, you hit them with facts, and then they hit you with, oh, well, your hair's fucking stupid. Bitch, I didn't ask about my fucking hair.
But it's like, this just kind of encapsulates a lot of the whole perfectionism, both, internal and external, whatever. It's just like the ability to let go of things. It's like you can't hold somebody else to a standard and expect them to be perfect and whatever perfect is in your eyes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, everybody is going to have their own code of conduct or different, perception on morality, what's right or wrong. Right. And you can't look at everybody and judge them with the same measuring stick and be like, you're going to perfectly follow what I think is right, or you're like evil. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're not going to see eye to eye on things, and that's cool, bro. And it's like, you have to let go. You have to have willingness to let go. And same thing with yourself. Sometimes you might crash out on somebody that you might think that's wrong in retrospect, you just got to let it go. Okay, I messed up. Let's keep going. You know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is, bro. A lot of people in it, I'm guilty of this too in the past, and even in the future, I'm sure I'll do it again. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's the equivalent of like, it's like, I'm trying to think of a way to say it on YouTube without us getting in trouble.
I mean, we were just, the last story the dude was talking about was like he was being accused of shooting up a school. Like, we've said a lot of stuff on here that they didn't get us.
It's like getting stabbed versus getting shot, right? Like when you get shot, the bullet goes through you. It's inside and then it comes out. But when you're stabbed, you're just sitting here like this.
Sometimes it goes through. Sometimes, but yeah, I get it for the metaphor.
The metaphoric, like, okay, like you get shot, the bullet goes through you. You know what I mean? But it's like getting stabbed. People just let themselves get stabbed and let the blade just sit there. It's like, you got to let it pass, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's the reality of life. Like, you're never going to agree with everybody, for one. And for two, even the people that you fuck with, you're never going to agree on fucking everything all the fucking time. It's just not going to happen. You guys are two different people. You were built by, two different experiences in life. And that's like, that's one of the main reasons why I've been doing these live interviews with people too, is because I do think that it's very interesting to see how, like, it's like two different universes colliding. It's like, this person had a lot of this stuff happen, and that's what shaped them into the person that they are today. Like, I'm very intrigued about the human psychology behind it. I personally do find that type of stuff entertaining as well. So that's why I do believe, and I don't really care if you agree with this or not, but this is why I do believe it falls underneath my entertainment niche, especially on my personal profile, is because to me it is somewhat entertaining, but it's also educational. You can learn a lot from other people, but basically it's literally, like I said before, two universes colliding. And it's like, you're the main character in your story, but they're the main character in their story. And it's like two different worlds, two different perspectives coming together. And I feel like there's a lot that can be learned, a lot that can be shared. A lot of people can connect with that type of stuff. And that goes to, it goes back to not always being perfect. Like, it shows that none of us are fucking perfect. We all have scars. We all have battle wounds. We all have stories. And it's what made us who we are today.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to make us.
I like what you're doing, because this circles back to what I was saying earlier, man. We're all human beings. It doesn't matter if you're on your last dollar or if you're a billionaire. And anything in between, we are all human beings. And I like what you're doing, because you're exposing that like all people are humans. We all have insecurities. We all have doubts. We all have fears. We all have challenges. We all have a past. We all have had to slay demons in our lifetime. You know what I mean? And keep doing that, bro. I think that's sick, bro. And obviously, as you grow and you climb, you're going to access, people that are, very, very successful in whatever they're doing. And it's going to be the same as right now when you're interviewing people that are already in your circle. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why, I don't have a script when I do them. I literally just try to do it as, like, to give them also an outlet to tell their stories. Because I feel like some of the people that watch this stuff, it can help them. They can relate to it. Shit, it helps me. I can relate to some of it. I can learn from some of their stories. But it's not really all about me. It's about everybody. So it's about the people that are watching. It's about the person that I'm interviewing. And it's about myself. It's like this big circle where everybody prospers from. Everybody can learn something. Everybody can be, at some points, entertained. Because, sometimes there's little, like, joking stuff that goes on. Little comedy type shit that'll go in between everything. And so I feel like everybody wins. Really, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, everybody wins.
They get to express themselves, tell their story. You get to learn from them. You get content. They get value. It truly is just like a W's all around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I don't see anywhere where anybody actually loses, in my opinion. There might be some viewers that come in that have no interest in it. Okay, great. Find the next YouTube live. Like, fuck, I'm not changing it because you don't like it, but there are going to be people that fuck with it.
Yeah.
Great. Stay here. I love you. Like, fucking, let's watch the live. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to change the way that I'm doing things just to appease other people. I feel like what I'm doing now is, for one, it's a lot more entertaining, a lot more educational, can help a lot of people. Like, it checks a lot of different boxes. And the more and more people that I interview, I feel like a lot of these guys haven't had platforms or ways to tell their stories before, for one. And so it gives them that platform to be able to do that. But it also relates back to like the journey of life and being perfect and going through trials and tribulations. And then it's like the more and more that this channel starts to grow, more and more people are going to stumble across these videos. And I do feel like it'll help a lot of people, I guess is what I'm really trying to say. Like, I believe that it might be the thing that pulls somebody out of a dark place, that somebody might be able to relate to it and be like, oh, fuck, like I've been in that same exact situation. I know exactly how they feel. Like, I don't know how to get out of it. Like, I don't know what to do. And they watch that video and now they are able to figure out their life. It helps them take that next step forward. So yeah, and that's, I guess, another reason why there's really no point of trying to read the chats. It has more to do with, I'm not going to interrupt these people just because of a chat. I feel like that's not fair to them to interrupt them and to, you know, fuck up their story or, you know, have them lose their place because of like dumbass chats that are coming in. I'm not saying they're all stupid. Some of you guys have great things to say, but you know how to reach me if you want to say it. It's in the description. Hit the 3 dots. But I feel like that's the way to do it. It really, at this point, has nothing to do with people trolling. It's more or less the lines of, I want somebody to have a platform to tell their story uninterrupted. And that's why you'll notice that I don't talk a lot in these. If they pause for a second and give me an opportunity to talk, I'll ask some questions based off what they're saying. But other than that, I really want it to be a platform for people to be able to talk, to tell their story, to get whatever is on their chest off their chest. And I don't push anybody to say anything that they don't want to say. If I ask a question, they don't want to answer it, we move on. I'm not going to pressure anybody. I want them to actually feel comfortable to be able to share their story, what happened. And I feel like that gives them that ability and that feeling to know that they can actually tell the whole story, rather they fucked up at some time. Again, going back to not being perfect. Again, to being that we are humans and we are going to make mistakes. We're going to have trials and tribulations. We're going to go through some crazy fucked up shit. But we're also going to have good times. We're going to have funny stories. We're going to have success stories. We're also going to have failure stories. But that's what makes us human. And that's why I believe it's important to share.
I mean, that's why I think just to double down, triple down, quadruple down, just keep going. Like, I like it for all the reasons you just explained. People need that outlet. I think that's awesome. And I think you're the guy to do it because you've been through a lot. You know, I know a lot about your life story, and I think it's cool to connect with somebody that can relate to people. It'd be different if you were like, you know, your dad's Tom Cruise. You've lived in Beverly Hills your whole life, and like you're trying to, you know, talk to people. Then like that wouldn't really work because you couldn't really relate to their struggles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd be a lot different. But I've always had this natural ability where it seems like I have a lot of people that will come to me about their struggles or about life without even having to ask or like go to them first. Like I get it all the time, especially when I go certain places in the public, this, that, and the other. I've had complete strangers come up to me and give me almost a 20-minute life fucking story about something that they're dealing with at the time. I don't know what it is, but it's something that I've always had. It's something I've always done, even growing up. Like all the friend groups I was in, I was always the person that the people in the friend group would come to talk to about struggles or about life, ups and downs, good and bad. But it was like, I've always had an ability without even having to do anything to get people to open up and share what they're going through. And so I'm trying to also tap into that and use that ability to be able to have these conversations with people, because most people feel comfortable and they trust me to have these types of conversations. Now, when I do these interviews on the YouTube Live, they know they are being recorded. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here just acting like I'm having a secret conversation and then I have a camera going. Like, no, that's not the fucking case. But I think that's another reason why I don't want the chat being faced this way, is because I want these people to not see some of the negativity and then shut down because of what they're going through and because what people are saying and this, that, and the other. I do warn them ahead of time, though, that a lot of the times, especially on YouTube Live, that there can be a lot of negativity, especially in the chats. But that's another reason why I don't really respond to comments or deal with it, is because I feel like it could take that safe space away from people. It could take away that opportunity for them to really open up.
Yeah. I think that's somewhere where me and you, like, that's like one of our big pillars we have in common. It's just like, people are just open with us. I don't know what it is. Like, it's the same thing with me and my life experiences. Like, people have an easy time opening up to me. I think it's because maybe we're not super judgmental. Like, we're pretty open-minded individuals. You know what I mean? There's a story in particular. I mean, it popped in my head. It's kind of whatever. But when I was selling cars, I had this customer who, like, initially was like very secretive about like what her job was and like keeping it on the down low. But by the end of it, she, told me she's a stripper and all these crazy stories and trips she's gone. It was just like, it got really in depth. And I was like, whoa, bro. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm very open about who I am, what my story is. And I'm also very blunt to the point type of person. So like, people also, I mean, they know that, and if they're not looking for that bluntness, then it's a little bit different. But even with those types of people, I don't sugarcoat it. I still try to get straight to the point with things. I mean, you can't, I feel like those conversations are needed. If you just like hype somebody up, even though you know what they're doing is wrong, they know what they're doing is wrong, but you still go ahead and go with it, are they ever going to be able to like recognize it?
Yeah.
No, because you're sitting there, you're a real friend, a real person that actually cares is going to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. I've had situations where I've done that, and she ended up fucking crying and hasn't talked to me since, and went spreading rumors and all. I don't know. It was fucking crazy. But then I've had other people where I've done that, and it's been like a light bulb finally clicked on. So I'm not saying that the way I do things is for everybody. But I've only had that one issue that I just referred to. That's only happened once in my whole entire life. And I do feel like at some point in her life, she's going to look back at that conversation, be like, fuck, like he was right. And I pray that that does happen for her. And I pray that she that light bulb switches and she gets to where she needs to go in life. But as of now, like, my hands are tied. I've said my piece. I've did what I needed to do. And after the wrongs that were done, I want no communication, no contact. Like, you're on your own type of shit now. Like, once you do me dirty like that, you want to go and do this and do that and try to ruin this and try to ruin that and lie about that. Nah, like that. I'm not surrounding myself.
Be gone with you, Reddish. Back to whence you came.
I'm not surrounding myself with that type of people, though, that type of energy. It's just not going to happen. You're a product of your own environment. You hang out with 4 fucking losers that want to do nothing with life, well, you're going to become the 5th. You hang out with fucking 4 creators, millionaires, billionaires, successful people, however you want to word it, right? You'll be the 5th one. It's only a matter of time.
Yo, do you mind if I borrow that charger?
Yeah.
I'm going to plug it in outside.
There's a charger up by your foot.
Snap. But absolutely, you are a product of your environment. Completely agree.
Yeah. I need to get my laundry, but
I mean, I'm sure I can hold it down if you need to go do that real quick.
yeah, I mean, I'm going to go grab the laundry real quick. I don't want to sit in there too long. It'll get wrinkled.
What point are we on? I guess the next one, because we did the comparison one, and we did
being overly ambitious, but everyone feels behind or not good enough.
Okay, that's the one that we were on, and then the ambitious one is, I guess, the next one. So I'll hit on that.
Well, we were letting go of comparisons, what we were just talking about. We didn't hit on that at all.
Okay.
But I still have stuff to say on that too, so don't say too much. Or I'll just swing back to it when I come back. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I gotta get my motherfucking laundry, so I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, you guys are stuck with me, I guess. But at certain points, like I th- I think like you do want to follow your heart, and I think your emotions are important, and you should take like them into consideration when you're making decisions and when you're doing things. But you can't be so controlled by your emotions that you're willing to self-destruct, because there are going to be times where you are not 100% confident with yourself. There's going to be times where doubt creeps in. There's going to be times where it's going to be hard to keep going. But in those moments, you have to have the ability to detach and understand that, my thoughts aren't always my thoughts. There's a lot of external conditions that can control you, and you have to be conscious of that. I don't think it's within your divine nature to feel that way, to feel that doubt, to feel that self-hatred. Like, that's completely unnatural. And when you're in that state, ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Is it because somebody else said something to me that was harsh? Is it because I failed in the past? Is it something my parents did? Is it something that in my childhood? Like, you really have to sit with yourself and ask, like, why don't I feel enough? And you also have to understand that there's not really anything you can chase in this world that is going to make you feel that way. It's almost a decision. Like, in this moment, I'm going to love myself. I'm going to give myself permission to be myself unapologetically. And I'm going to be the person that I want to be. I'm going to say the things that I want to say. That's where true freedom lies, right? Like, yes, financial freedom, great, cool. But spiritual freedom, like, has to come first. Spiritual freedom is really the foundation of life, right? If you're super boxed in your cage, you're limiting your potential, you're not going to go for the things that you want in life, right? The fact that me and Rob, even have the courage to go for these things is because we have that freedom of self-expression. We have that freedom of artistic expression. That comes with what we do, and I'm sure there's probably plenty of people watching this that are in their own endeavors that can relate to that. We're all seeking freedom, and freedom doesn't just come, from monetary gain. It is really a spiritual mindset. You understand that you're connected to the Creator. God made you in His image. You have the same abilities, maybe on a smaller scale, but you're able to create. Your ideas are divine. They come from a beautiful place. And you can design a life that is beautiful. And you can feel comfortable within yourself in due time. If you're in that space where you're not confident, where you're fighting these demons, it is possible to get out of that state. And I am a living testimony to that. It wasn't too long ago where I was at the lowest of the low. Everything I did just felt awful, felt off. I was not confident in myself. I was trying everything I could to be somebody that I'm not. I was posing this image. I was trying to have everything be perfect at all times. And I was miserable. Now that I'm just open, I'm wearing sweatshirts, I'm chilling, I'm kicking it, I'm just being myself, I feel 100 times better than ever. You know what I mean? I can just say my ideas. I don't care if I slip up. I don't care if I say the right thing. I don't care if, I'm misunderstood. I'm just like literally a stream of consciousness. And it's beautiful being in this flow state and having that ability to express myself freely. And I pray that everybody can live a life where that is possible. And it all just starts with love. You have to love your imperfections. And if you live a life of love, you cannot fail. Love is the foundation. Everything you do should be out of love. You should wake up in the morning because you love your life. You should eat a healthy breakfast because you love yourself. You love your family. You want to be healthy for them, right? Every step in your day should be surrounded by love. That's literally the key to freedom is just love. If you love yourself, you're going to have that confidence to do anything that you need to do, anything that you want to do, and live life to the fullest. It's not an easy task. It is always a challenge. There's going to be setbacks. But if you have that goal in mind and you're working towards it, there will be fruits. You know what I mean? You are lucky to be alive. You're lucky to be you. You could have been anybody else on the planet, but your consciousness chose that body, right? That's a beautiful thing. You should have gratitude for the fact that you're you. Embrace it, multiply it, let it flourish, let it grow. Understand that it is a gift to be you. You might not always see it that way. Society might pressure you to think otherwise. Society might pressure you to be jealous, to be envious of others, to not appreciate what you have currently. But we will break out of that mindset. We will grow. We will climb to the next level. We will continue to multiply in love for ourselves, but love for life as a whole. Because life is a beautiful, precious gift. And not just life, your life is a beautiful, precious gift. It is a blessing to have your unique identity. Use your gifts that God gave you, your talents, your own unique mind, your own unique ideas, and share them. Share your talents. I keep going back to this story just because it means a lot to me. But in the book of Matthew, there's a parable about these 3 servants that receive talents, and talents are coins, but it's like could be looked at as a double entendre or whatever. One servant gets 5 talents, one servant gets 2 talents, and the last servant gets 1 talent. The talent that got the servant that got the 5 talents, the one that got the 2, multiplied theirs. They used it. They invested. They grew. The servant that got the 1 talent buried his. It did not multiply, and he got punished for not using his talent, his gift that God gave him, and multiplying it and sharing it. And I think that is a huge lesson. Like I think that is like one of the most fire stories that I know out of the Bible. It's absolutely just gas, bro. But it's a huge, like, really, really good lesson, really good story. Welcome back.
Sure. Oh, fuck.
I hope your clothes smell good and are nice and dry.
Thankfully.
So I don't know. Basically, where I left off at was just appreciation for life as a whole. I mean, I don't know quite how I got there, but that's, I guess, the last thing I was talking about.
So Lightning actually just sent, so that's like 5 comments that I can go through. So Lightning, I did get that. We'll go through that at the end.
Cool.
You just to keep up the good work. Well, I appreciate it, Lightning.
Thanks, bro.
But Lightning, if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, stay tuned to the end, and I can go through at least 5 of them for you. But we do appreciate you.
Are you sure that's the full message?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, man. We really appreciate it.
But everyone feels good or not behind. Or everyone feels behind, wow, or not good enough. I mean, I guess it's just something where we did talk about, especially when we were talking about the comparison stuff, like looking at social media and comparing yourself and, feeling like you're behind on life. And I don't think anybody's behind. I think you're exactly where you're supposed to be in life. You might be repeating the same thing over and over again, but I believe that's because you have not learned the lesson that you were meant to learn yet. And so until you learn that lesson and take it with stride and actually like improve from that, I believe life's going to keep throwing that same lesson at you repeatedly, whether it be in different contexts or not. But all in all, like, to really sum that one up, we did talk about it a lot, I guess, with the comparison, but you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now in the present. And there's nothing you can do about it. You're not behind, and we're all good enough. We're all capable of anything. You just have to be able to put in the work and do what you need to do to get to where you want to be. And it'll all happen in time if you just don't give up. But everybody's good enough. Everybody's good enough to have success or to reach their level of success that they see as successful.
Yeah, and everybody on the planet fulfills a role. I think people overlook that. Like they're so focused on their, what they don't have. They're in that lack. They're like, oh, I don't have X, Y, and Z. Look at what you do have. I mean, everybody. Yeah, I got you. Everybody has a role that they're fulfilling. You know what I mean? It'd be you just being a son or a daughter or a brother or an uncle or niece or whatever to somebody else. Like we all play a role in life that's very important. And you don't need to be a millionaire or have 1 million followers or whatever to be important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, everybody does have their role in life. Some people, the social media aspect isn't for them, but they have other people that depend on them, other people that need them here. You need yourself here at that. But we do all have a purpose here, whether you see it right now or not. And if you don't, I really do encourage you on, sitting down with yourself and trying to figure out who you are at your core, your identity, and what your purpose is in life. That's something that I did a while back. I was having a conversation with this professor from the University of Toledo. He was like a esoteric, spirituality, religious studies professor. And, astrology as well. So I do believe in like universe, astrology, God. I have a very mixed belief system per se. But I was able to kind of, I don't know. I think I had the end of the conversation at like 9 o'clock at night. We was doing a lot of research on certain things into the astrology on the day, on the location, the day, and the time that I was born, and kind of what the universe, or what some people say the stars, were saying at that time. And what I got was something that I already knew about myself, but it confirmed it. And so I kept digging and digging. I actually used AI at that time. I had ChatGPT for this. But it got to a point where I spent it was like 10 o'clock. I probably stayed up till 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning going through this and having this conversation with, the AI, and like having it do some research for me. And I was going and checking the sources and things of that nature. But essentially, I was here to disrupt how things are being done, and to bring light to people in the same context. And I always felt like that's why I went through what I went through, was to build who I am today, between the drugs, the jail, the crimes, all of this stuff, to be able to help other people. And I always felt like that was something that was true, but it really, I broke down. I cried about that shit for a while that night, not out of like sadness, but more out of like, what the fuck? Like something finally clicked. Like I knew who I was, what I was supposed to do, and what my purpose was in life. And ever since that point has happened, even through the struggles, the hard times, the trials and tribulations, like I look forward to living. I look forward to fulfilling my purpose. I look forward to trying to help other people. And I look forward to doing it in my own way. And that's where I think the disruption comes in. It's like, I'm not very politically correct. I'm not about the bullshit that's really going on right now. I'm not like, oh, it's okay, Johnny. Like, everything will be okay. Like, no. I'm just not. And I also try to bring light to some of the fucked up shit within the big pharma industry. You know, I want to talk about things that a lot of people don't want to talk about. And I say it how I want to say it. And I feel like a lot of people, because of the authenticity, because of the realness, can relate to that. And I feel like that's where the disruption comes in. People expect somebody that is trying to be what some people would call professional. And they hear how I talk. They hear how my ideology is on things. And they think it's unprofessional or it's crazy or it's delusional or whatever the fuck. And I think that's where the disruption comes in play. Like, I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck. Like, I'm going to say what I want to say and try to enlighten people in my own way.
I think they were clear on that by now.
But I also feel like that's what gives me the ability to deal with a lot of the negative people and the positive people, I guess. Like, that's why what people say over the internet, whether it's bad or good, it doesn't faze me. Like, I love the good stuff, but at the same time, I'm not going to let even like the good stuff change who I am. Like, oh yeah, you could do this and this better, but this was good. Like, I do appreciate that. Don't not get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to be an egotistical fuck over here. But what I'm saying is like, it's giving me that tougher skin to be able to deal with whatever comes my way. Whether, I mean, especially from a lot of the negativity, from people calling you delusional, people calling you crazy, like, go get a job, go do this, go do that. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't let it affect me, because once you figure out your true purpose and what you are here for,
can't really anything persuade you away from it.
Yeah, like, I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Nothing can persuade you against something once you know what your true purpose and identity is. You're able to go through fucking hell to make sure that you fulfill your purpose and that you stay true to your own identity. And that's why I encourage anybody who hasn't done some deep diving within themselves and spent some time alone and in quiet to go and do it, because it'll be a whole life fucking changing experience for you. I promise. Or at least it was for me. But that's why I feel like we all, I guess what I'm getting at it with that is that we all have a fucking purpose. You just got to find it. If you haven't found it yet, dig deep within yourself and find that fucking purpose. And that was just how I found my way. There could be other ways for you to find yours, but that's just a little bit of my story, how I found my purpose, and, you know, I guess what it took to get there. And after that, it's like nothing else it doesn't faze you. The negativity, the bullshit, people telling you all this other, it doesn't matter. Nothing persuades you to go any different route. So find your true purpose and know that you are here for something.
Yeah. And a lot of you guys, you know, are probably fulfilling it now. You don't see it that way. You know what I mean? Maybe your whole life purpose was just to be a father and raise your family. You know what I mean? Or anything of that nature. Right. And I don't think you, in my personal opinion, I don't think you have one singular purpose. I think you fulfill a lot of roles in life, and I think it changes as you age and develop in your own life. You know what I mean? Like your life purpose, you know, 5 years ago could be different than what it is today.
Depending on how broad it already is. Mine's pretty broad. I can go about that in a million different ways, and it can have a million different ways of impact. So that's where I don't get into more specific stuff, because I feel like what I'm saying is broad enough. And that's why I feel like that is my purpose. But going with that, it could be falling underneath that would be raising a family, would be taking care of a family, would be trying to help other people. Like, there's so many other things that fall underneath the one thing, the
umbrella. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you might have a multi-purpose, but it's probably going to fall underneath the main broad spectrum of what your real singular purpose is on this life. Everything else is going to kind of fall into it and be a byproduct of that.
Yeah, I see. I hear you.
And I believe we all have that. You just have to find it. And once you find it, your whole life will fucking change. That's when I started looking at some of the stuff on social media and was able to look at it more as inspiration than I was jealous of it. Like, my whole world was flipped upside down. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, everything changed. Then I'm going to keep doing this shit until I get to where I want to be. And even when I get to where I want to be, I'm still going to continue to do it. It's not about the end goal. I I feel it is my purpose, and I feel like that's why I've always had people flock to me ever since I was little. That's another reason why I've always been different. I've never fit in with people, like especially back in high school, middle school and stuff. Like I was in all the groups. I was into drugs. I was into the sport. I was a sport. I played all the sports in high school. I fit in with those guys. I fit in with the drugs and the partying. I fit in with the goddamn stoners. I fit in with, you know, the academic people. I didn't have like a set group. I was always kind of like an outsider per se. But I feel like that was, for one, to make me be able to relate to a lot of people, but also to figure out how to be alone and not necessarily have to fit in with the rest of every demographic or to put a label on myself. I don't know. I could go on.
But I mean, I can just say I can relate to that a lot. Like, you know, outside of like when I was very young, I don't think there was a point in my life where I had like zero friends. I mean, I've always had people around, but I don't think I'd never really fit into a category. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to really like be in a social box growing up. You know, I mean, I was always an honor roll student, all A's. So I kind of fit in that academic group, but I was not really like, I didn't really like how like preppy and like fucking suave and all that shit that they were. But you know what I mean? I like to be active, but I wasn't an athlete. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I couldn't really fit myself into any one particular group. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I've always had high standards for I have high standards for myself, and I expect the people that I keep around me to have that, to fit in that same area. Otherwise, I don't get very close to those people either. Like I've lost a lot of friendships in the past because of, for example, some of you might understand this, some of you might not. I mean, it is what it is. But for example, being lied to about something that would be, if you were to talk about it from a micro perspective, yes, it might sound fucking stupid. But in my eyes, it's a bigger perspective. It is about the principle behind it. And if you're willing to lie to somebody over something so small, then when it comes to more serious shit, you're definitely willing to deceive me, to lie to me and everything like that nature. So I always took those small things, and to me, it was a bigger deal because it's about the principle behind the fact of the matter. It's not about what actually happened, but it's about the principle, the bigger picture. And so like I've lost people because of that over the dumbest fucking shit. If you were to, again, see it from a micro perspective, because of the way I acted when it happened. Like, I don't tolerate the bullshit. And some people, they're like all like confused. Like, what do you mad? Like, they don't, it doesn't click. They don't recognize it. It's like, oh, well, it was just this little ass thing. Like, what's the big fucking deal type shit? And to me, it's like, no, it's not really, it isn't a small minor thing. It's the principle behind it. It's you showing your true character. And like, if I cannot trust you on a smaller scale, then I don't want you in my life, because, you know, the people that you really fuck with, you want to be able to talk to. And if you can't have a minor disagreement over something, or a minor bullshit lie or something of this nature, then they're not going to be able to handle the bigger stuff, the bigger events, the bigger stuff that comes with life itself. So like, to me, it just shows who a person really is. And that's why I've always been so selective, because there's not a lot of people that can fit into this box. Some people look at you like you're crazy because you're pissed off over a lie. And some of them couldn't even fucking admit that it was a lie. You still, like, I had an old roommate, for example. That motherfucker was a liar and a thief. I would have to lock everything up in my bedroom, stuff like that. I didn't really have a choice, but as soon as I got the opportunity, I moved out. I haven't talked to him since. I don't know. I guess what brought me to, I was reading poetry that I wrote back when a lot of this stuff was going on. Like, I found it dated from like 2021. That, and I mean, it kind of fits along the thing. It's a lot of character development. Like, for example, they're really quick. I'll read just one real quick, but to see where my headspace was at in 2021 compared to where the fuck I'm at now is absolutely astronomical. Like, I haven't read these in 5 or 6 years since I wrote them. And I almost didn't even want to read it out loud, because it was like, what the fuck? Like, it's dark. So, real quick, because I don't want to be on here much longer. So, real quick, it's called Demons That Reside. It's not easy to suppress the temptation of these demons. I plead for them to leave, so sick of them controlling my feelings. One of them goes by a well-known name, Bipolar. He seems to be the one to alter my mood a lot. He's got the controller. No matter what I do, I can't seem to kill him. I believe he is the one to blame for me being so grim. The second demon has been with me since I could remember. His name is Depression. For some, he only resides with them in December. The best way to suppress this demon is by hitting the bong. He will never take over completely. I'm too headstrong. Depression is a demon you must choose to battle and take a stand. Otherwise, one day you may be slain like beef cattle by your own hand. The one that seems to have the greatest impact on my life is number 3. I call the third demon anxiety. Torment is his only guarantee. Because of him, I believe everyone is out to screw me over. Sometimes I feel the only way to get rid of him is to cross over. He is the reason that I sometimes choose to hit the pint. I just cling on to hope that one day he'll be gone. Then I'll be all right. The last demon likes to reside, only shows himself when it's time to sleep. His name is Insomnia, and in the darkest shadow is where you'll find him creep. He makes sure to torment my mind with every mistake from the past. Sometimes my brain is what he tries to tempt me to blast. Sleepless nights are his favorite form of fucking torture. Some nights, in order to get some sleep, I'll smoke a damn quarter. I choose to stay committed to Mary Jane. She keeps all of my demons at bay. So I just keep pushing no matter what the demons have to throw my way. You see now a glimpse into my deranged mind. In writing, I find it gives me another way to unwind. At the end of each day, all I want to find is peace. Maybe one day the demons will finally actually be released before I cease.
That was actually fire, dude.
I was trying to find the other one. Yeah, like this shit. Hopefully this doesn't get me in trouble, but we'll see. It's called Unknown Voices. This was written on 4/2 of 2021, by the way. This was years ago. 5 years ago. Almost. There are these voices in my fucking head. They love to tempt me with thoughts of bloodshed. Tones to me that are from unknown voices. Causing me chaos, the demon rejoices. Voices informing of the sins of man, giving me ways to shorten their lifespan. I try not to fall into temptation, yet murder is this country's foundation. These voices telling me I'll get away, threatening if I choose not to obey. The rest will sort itself out, they tell me, so I hunt them down, shooting as they flee. Voices telling me to bathe in their blood while eating their hearts like potato spud.
Jesus, bro.
You're telling me, and then last one, I promise. This one's kind of what I was talking about with like the SOs and how I feel about that. This one, I still, not that I would actually do any of this shit, but I do believe, I don't know. I'll just read it and shut up. It's called Fresh Flesh. You see, we have a major problem here. Though I do have a fix, please lend an ear. With this, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Then maybe SOs will not clone. Over time, they please their own desires. If they disobey, they know life expires. The deed is done how the victim sees fit. I assure you it's not just lickety-split. How about we raffle the deed for all? It should be done at every city hall. Creating a death so agonizing, crimes, then no longer tantalizing. Or send them my way. I love fresh flesh. Skinning them and making flesh nets like mesh.
Dude, that little rhyme scheme at the end was crazy, bro.
But I lost a lot of it. I put them into paint files, and I can't pull them up on the computer or nothing. So I only have like, I think 15 now out of 100 that some that I wrote that I can actually pull up and read. But yeah, I guess what I'm saying is like, you can see where my mindset was at some point in my life. And just to be able to see the growth. And once I found my purpose and what I was supposed to do in life and how things changed over the last fucking 5 years. I've been in some very dark places too. I had a very deranged mind. And those have never been shared before. That's the first time I've ever shared these like publicly, I guess, because you consider the camera and being on a live. The only other person I shared this with was a guy named Ethan, who you guys saw me interview last night. I actually shared these with him last night because he's big into poetry. He writes it himself. I have like a couple others. Some of them are more along the darker lines as well. I don't really have time to share that shit right now. Maybe one night I'll get out and kind of share a little bit about my past more. But I guess what I'm saying is like we're all here for a purpose, and you're exactly where you need to be. And then one day you'll be able to look back, like I just did, at the growth of your character development and who you are now and your mindset now. Because I don't think anything like this anymore. I mean, the last one I just read, I'm very against the SO stuff. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, great. If you don't, I don't think I can say it, so I'm not going to. But like that type of stuff, like someone can come up to me and tell me they just off fucking 10 people, and I'm probably not going to say nothing. Like that's your business, whatever the fuck. But someone comes up to me and says that I just SO'd somebody. Well, I might end up in prison for 25 years. I would throw everything away. I don't find that shit funny. I have a very strong opinion about that stuff and how wrong it is, and I hate it. I hate it with. Yeah, let's get on to a different topic.
Yeah. I just, Rob knows this because I've shared with him. I've had a complete 180 in terms of just like music when I was younger. I mean, it was very dark. It was very, a little bit different than what he was sharing. But for those of you who don't know, I do just production now, but I used to, make beats and rap in the past. And the themes were just very dark, and it was an expression of what I was going through at the time and kind of just how I perceived life. And it's like when I go back, it almost turns my stomach. Like I don't want to say regret, because that's not the word that I want to use, but I'm just a lot more enlightened, and I've had the experience and like things I wish I could have saw this light that I see now earlier in my life, but that's just not the way that it went. You know what I mean? And I'm blessed for where I'm at now. And maybe I had to, have these thoughts and go through these experiences for something I don't know yet. So I can't, if I had a magic wand, I don't think I would undo it. You know what I mean? It led me to where I'm at now, and where I'm at now could lead me to places I can't even dream of. So that is like a perfect recap of everything we're talking about, just not being perfect. We both come from a not perfect place, very dark place. And it's in stark contrast to our mentality in the life that we live now. And, in order for us to get in the position that we're at now, we had to go through that. And we're going to continue to probably encounter a lot more in our journey. And those that are watching, same thing for you. If you're in that sunken place, if you're in that darkness, just know that there's hope. Use this as a testimony. Look towards us to understand, hey, there's hope. And I'm not saying that I'm a perfect role model or Rob is, but you can look at anybody that is in the position that you want to be in, or somebody that you really care about, and understand that they had to go through demons. They had dark times. They had to fight depression, anxiety, just like you. We're all human beings. We all have the same emotional spectrum. And we're all going to have those dark moments, and it's important to express that and have that
in a healthy way.
In a healthy way.
Don't actually,
don't act out on it. Don't be violent. Whatever. Don't express.
If I acted out on some of these stuff, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. Let's just put it that way. So you do write it. Do something else with it. Don't actually do these things.
Have a healthy expression in your life, but yeah, I mean, it's just a testament to what's possible in life. If you have hope, if you have faith, and if you continue on the path. And I prayed for days like this to have the mindset that I do now, to be able to be comfortable in my own skin, to have, to be surrounded with like-minded individuals. And you might not see it now, but it is coming if you allow it to come.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I don't struggle with any of that shit anymore. I don't struggle with insomnia. I quit smoking weed. Don't struggle with anxiety or depression anymore. So it does change. Life does move on. You just have to be willing to take the help that comes and be willing to put in the work that'll allow you to change and be a better person. And sometimes you got to find an outlet. Like for me, the outlet was writing about it. I mean, I had some other unhealthy coping mechanisms too, like smoking and drinking and shit like that. Especially when I was writing a lot of this stuff, I was usually intoxicated in some way, shape, or form.
Everybody use their bathroom real quick.
But yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next. Well, being overly ambitious. So personally, I don't think being overly ambitious is necessarily a bad thing, but I guess it depends on what degree we're talking about here. I believe being overly ambitious about your dreams can be a good thing, but if you're so far ambitious about it to where you're like psychotic, I think that's where there can be some issues. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really have a lot to say on the topic. I really don't see anything wrong with being ambitious or overly ambitious about your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, because how else are you going to achieve them? It shouldn't consume your whole life to the point where you can't sleep at night and you're losing weeks of sleep. I'm not saying that. That's too far, but I do believe that being overly ambitious about your goals and your dreams is a good thing. And then surrounding yourself with people who support those goals and ambitions and dreams, it'll help amplify that, help you achieve that. You can do a lot by yourself. You can do a whole lot by yourself, but you can't do everything by yourself. You need you need to surround yourself with like-minded people who have similar goals and ambitions in life. And you need to work together and lift each other up in order to, really reach that level of success. Like I've said before in the past, there's something called a mastermind, which Napoleon Hill talks about. He used examples like Henry Ford or Andrew Carnegie. For example, Henry Ford knew nothing about how to actually put together a car. And Andrew Carnegie knew nothing about the steel industry, yet they became very, very, very successful in these industries and made names for themselves because they surrounded themselves with people who knew how to do certain things. Everybody had their own specialty. And then it created a mastermind. And so I believe you need that in life. You need to surround yourself with like-minded individuals to create that mastermind program. I mean, I spend a lot of time with him, and there's two other people that I spend a lot of time with. They're also content creators, so the people that I also do a little bit of work with as well, running fan accounts, things of that nature. And I believe the four of us have created what he talks about in that mastermind. And I've recently came across another guy. You guys actually met him yesterday, who I believe is on that same level. He's had a lot of struggles in life. Yes, he's young. He's 18 years old, still in high school, about to graduate. I think he talked about that last night. But when you talk to him, you wouldn't think that. You would think that he's around my age. There's 11 years between us. But the maturity level, his thought process, having some of the deep conversations that I've had with him, it's if he wouldn't have told me his age, I would have thought he was at least 25, 26 years old with the way his mentality is, with his mindset. And I've also found that it's like I see myself, but a younger version. He's got almost the same mentality, mindset as I do, but he's at a way younger level. He learned a lot of things younger than I did. There's some of the stuff that he was talking about in his first live that I didn't learn until I was 26, 27 years old, and this motherfucker's sitting there saying it at 18. So, I don't know. To me, it's very inspiring, and good for him. But I do feel I'm going to be also doing some content with him as well. I do plan on trying to help him get into the social media space, maybe into the pranks and entertainment, things of that nature. Because I believe he has that good personality for it, and he wants to strive for bigger things. So, like I said, you guys met him last night and on Monday, but our Monday one got copywritten, so we had to redo it. I'm going to end up removing the copyright one, and it'll just be the one from last night. So if you guys are curious who I'm talking about, his name's Ethan Elliott. He was in an interview I did with him last night. You can check it in the past lives. And then tomorrow, if you guys have not seen yet, I will be interviewing another good friend of mine. Her name's Hannah. She's got some crazy, life experiences, some stories that I believe will be good for a lot of people to relate to as well. I'm interviewing her tomorrow. I think we're going to start between 5 and 5:45 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time. So I also hope to see you guys there. But the topic was overly ambitious.
Yeah, I guess all I could touch on that in terms of perfection is understanding you want to push yourself, but there are limits to what you can do. You're not going to be 100% in every bracket in life. You know what I mean? And you're going to have to sacrifice something somewhere. You know what I mean? So this is something I struggle with a lot in my journey, my life, is like almost wanting too much out of life. And it's a fine line because you want to shoot for the stars. You want to shoot for the moon.
Soon, you mean?
Maybe too much too soon is a better way to look. You want it all right now.
Yeah.
That's the best way to summarize what I'm trying to say. Like, you want everything right now, but you're constantly on a pendulum, and like you're not going to be able to have perfect balance in all brackets at once. And you have to be okay with that. And sometimes you might have to give up X to get Y. Doesn't mean you give it up forever, just not now.
Temporary sacrifices.
Absolutely.
You shedding, dude.
That means it's about to get warm, right?
Yeah. And then if you want to move on, the next one would be how imperfection feels better, art and entertainment.
I mean, I guess from like a musician's perspective, sometimes you click, you play the wrong note, or you do something else than what you were thinking about doing. And it's kind of fire, you know what I mean? And then you can build off that, and it turns into something completely different than what you had initially. And I think that's awesome, man. Like, not being perfectly on time or in the right key, or sometimes can open new doors that you wouldn't have previously if you're being quote unquote perfect in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure like, you can double down on this with content creation. Like,
I got a perfect story once you're done.
So yeah, go for it, bro. Go ahead.
So you remember when we did the drive-through?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not planned. It was a complete fucking fail, right? So to give a little backstory, I guess I'll spill the tea finally, because online I haven't actually said this yet. But basically, we tried to do a drive-through prank where when he was going to grab the drink from her, I was supposed to hit the air horn so she like freaks out and drops the drink. Well, I fucked up, and I hit it way after he already had the drink in hand. It was like $3.54 or something like that, and he only handed her $2, and then he just like sped off. So that video on TikTok has been getting views since the day it dropped. I think it's at 335,000 views right now. It just keeps going up, getting likes, comments, engagement every single day since January 17th. It's been nonstop engagement. Like this the best video that I've done so far, or we've done in this case. I mean, he's had a different one that was like a 3 point something million or 1 million. I don't know, in the millions of views on TikTok. So he's had ones that have done better. But what I'm saying is this one was a complete fuck up, a complete fail, completely not perfect, and the motherfucker took off online. So like, it really goes to show that sometimes your mistakes can be really good, especially in the content creation, entertainment industry. Like, I mean, to me, that's like living proof. That was not planned. He wasn't planning to drive away after just giving her $2.
I freaked out. I mean, that's what happened. It was like, oh snap! Like, I didn't know what to do in that moment. And we did go back and pay. So that's the part that I'm saying I'll spill the tea on. Online, you don't see that part in the video. When people say, "Did you pay?" I tell them, no. Like, what are you talking about? I'm sitting in jail right now on TikTok commenting to you, whatever. Like, I just fuck with it. I go with it. So yeah, I mean, that's the real thing. We ended up parking, and then he went inside and gave her the rest of the money, and it was all good. Didn't actually steal anything from anybody. She didn't have a shorted drawer. She didn't get in trouble. None of that shit actually happened. People make their own assumptions. But yeah, that video ended up taking off online. I think on the testing limits page, I got like 16,000 or 25,000 views, which isn't that astronomical compared to the 324 or 34. Or, I don't know. It's up there. Just so I'm not saying the wrong shit, give me 2 seconds on this. And this was all organic. Didn't pay for any reach on this. So 334,900. If you look down here, but this is all it was. It's a quick video. I don't know how much you can see. Trying to watch to see when it's done. But yeah, that was it. That was the fuck up. That was the mistake. And it did well online. I mean, if you look at the analytics on it,
So that's the total playtime, the amount of views, everything of that nature. So this is what I mean. Like, showing the in can sometimes work in your favor. Kind of like what he was saying with music. Sometimes it can open up other doors. I mean, this did the same thing. I posted it. It wasn't perfect. I didn't think it was going to do a whole lot, and it did. So I guess that's almost like a good thing to end on.
Yeah.
Is that this is evidence that you don't have to be perfect, that being imperfect can actually fuel better art, entertainment, music. And sometimes, I guess, especially with content creation, don't always go off what you think it'll do, because the internet will always prove you wrong, it seems. There's a lot of videos I thought would do fucking astronomical numbers. They didn't do shit. Or maybe they only got like 1,000 views or something like that nature. Then there's other videos like, all right, this isn't going to do anything. And it blows up, like this one. So, like, just post it. I guess, long story short, just create it. Just share it. Because you never know what the world is going to think, what the internet is going to think about it. And you don't know until you fucking post it, or do you share it, or do you show somebody. You'll never know unless you actually take that chance, take that risk, and post it, show it. I mean, I don't have anything else on that. Oh, geez. Anyway, I'm going to go back into the comments real quick and look at Lightning. Lightning, if you're still here. So, Lightning, like I said before, do you have anything that you want us to hit on? I have the comment section up right now. I see you just commented at The Dark Knight. He said the one thing people love more than a hero is to see a hero fall.
Dude, that's fire.
I mean, yeah.
That's not cool that happens, but it's a cool phrase, saying whatever.
Yeah. But Lightning, what do you mean you haven't said anything worth anything? Lightning, do you have any questions, comments, concerns that you want us to respond to? What do you mean you haven't said anything worth anything? You know, based on the topic at hand. I mean, anything, nothing? Well, I want to give you the chance because you did end up doing it the right way. You did it through the PayPal.
Yeah, we just want to make sure you're being heard if you want to be heard, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we open up the last 15 to 20 minutes for, is to answer any comments, questions, concerns you have. So, I mean, if there's anything on the top of your mind that you can think of, or anything you want to say, or anything you want me to, like, talk about, you know, now is the time that we can talk about that. Well, we're glad to see you too, Lightning. Appreciate you for still being here, homie. And I appreciate you for going with, you know, our change of things. I appreciate you respecting that and, you know, still showing up and being here with us. But yeah, we do appreciate you, Lightning.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
And I appreciate your understanding too. I mean, it's kind of hard to have a conversation if we're always going back and forth between comments as well. Eventually, the goal is to open up Super Chat, so you always don't have to go through the PayPal or the Cash App. They'll just have the Super Chat, and those who do the Super Chat will respond to those. That'll be the next step for this. But right now, this is the best thing to Super Chat that I could think of for right now. But I appreciate you. You don't know what to say. We love you too, Lightning. But yeah, I mean, if there's nothing else that you want to talk about, I think that's going to be the end for today. I will be, again, live tomorrow between 5 o'clock and 5:45 is when the start time will be. So hopefully see you guys all back tomorrow. Like I said before, I'm interviewing somebody named Hannah B. Well, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, so I just call her Hannah B.
Her Reminds me, and somebody else has a last name that starts with B. You have a hard time pronouncing. You don't anymore.
No, I was like,
you don't anymore.
I can pronounce it now.
I'm just
But
messing with you.
whew, but yeah, I mean, again, Lightning, really do appreciate you for following the rules, for supporting us, and for being here. And fuck yeah, Lightning. But yeah, I mean, I think that's gonna be a wrap for today.
Wrap it up.
Hope to see you, all you beautiful motherfuckers, tomorrow. I think you guys will find Hannah's story very interesting. Some of you might be able to relate to some of the stuff that she's going through and how she deals with it now. And so, yeah, if you guys have not already, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and that bell to be notified every time I go live and drop a new video. And like I said before, I love you motherfuckers. Love the support. Love for you guys being here. And yeah, and if you haven't already, there's 3 dots. Hit the 3 dots, go to the description, go to the bottom, and all of our ads are in there. So the product, Shane Buffet Jr., his YouTubes are all there. Copy and paste those, go follow. And then the testinglimits.com ad is also in there. But yeah, I think that's about it for today. So again, love you motherfuckers. Hit that like, subscribe, hit that bell, share this with your friends, bring other people in.
Tell your mom about it.
So yeah, tell your mom about it.
We're both single. I'm just joking.
I'll treat her good, I promise. No, I'm just...
All right.
But anyway, you guys have a good one. I'm going to stand up to end this, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you for being here, motherfuckers. I love you.